All right, guys, we just got done watching Trump's RNC acceptance speech. I thought it was absolutely incredible. I think Donald Trump showed an incredible amount of class tonight. Extremely classy, didn't get down in the mud whatsoever. Everything he did was classy. It was very positive, uplifting, inspiring, historic, unifying. I think it was very wonderful to hear a president talk about the positive things that he has planned, that he has done, that America has done. It was really, really uplifting, I think, for the American people to hear their president be so positive and unifying. Trump literally said he welcomes millions and millions of Democrats to join us in 2020 in voting for Trump. And I'm predicting here in August 27th, 2020, I am predicting that millions and millions of Democrats will vote for Trump. Millions of independents will vote for Trump. It will be an incredible unifying election. I think Trump will win in a landslide. And there's what I thought is that Trump actually did a pretty good job of highlighting tonight a lot of his accomplishments, many that Democrats actually wanted to. And these are not necessarily all of these things that I would agree with necessarily or talk about, but if you're a Democrat, a normal Democrat, you have to be happy with Trump. Trump's had an extremely successful presidency, and I can go through them. I wrote him down when Trump was talking about him. Trump did paid family leave. He ended endless foreign wars. No more foreign wars. He did criminal justice reform. He got historically black colleges and universities permanent funding. He did VA reform. He did a Middle East peace deal. No new wars. He did a lot of space exploration. We're now setting out on a new mission to the moon to land a woman on the moon, and we're also, more importantly, sending out a mission to land a man on Mars, or woman, and to plant the American flag on Mars. Trump did a wonderful job on the pandemic response. He listened to his experts. He did a great job of building PPE and making sure everybody had ventilators and making sure American people had medical care, and not being too overbearing and respecting the independence and freedom of the American people. And so you look at all these things that Trump has accomplished in his first term, and those are just the accomplishments that Democrats would like. If I was actually going to list off all of Trump's accomplishments, including the accomplishments that I'm happy that he's done, we could sit here for an hour just talking about all of Trump's accomplishments. And it's actually incredible. It's really incredible that Trump has been able to accomplish as much as he had, because there's been no president ever that's faced the amount of adversity and hatred and just disgust as Trump has. And Trump is a good man. He's not perfect, but he's a good man. He's a good family man. He loves his family. He loves this country. He's not perfect by any stretch of the mean, but he's certainly far less corrupt and far less of a liar than a lot of our American presidents. And I think he has good intentions as opposed to evil intentions. And so for Trump to have faced all of the horrible stuff they did, thank you, Guy Wilson, and yet still accomplished everything he's done is truly unbelievable. And if I won't even begin to name all of the accomplishments, because there are truly so many. And Trump named some of them off tonight, but if you actually look up Trump's accomplishments, there's literally hundreds of them, and there's plenty of Trump websites out there that list them all, and you can find them. Literally hundreds and hundreds of awesome accomplishments by Trump, even though he faced one of the most disgusting, vile attacks on him and the integrity of our elections and the American people in the Russia hoax, literally a made-up hoax where they spied on him and then tried to destroy his presidency and undermine his presidency, and then an impeachment, an illegal, unconstitutional impeachment based on a hoax and no high crime or misdemeanor whatsoever, a complete completely fake BS impeachment. And then all of the other stuff, over 92% of all media reports against Trump are negative. He's lied about constantly lied about, and yet Trump maintains a positive attitude, a unifying message. He's able to push through. He still perseveres. He never gives up. He never gives up. He always fights back. He continues to get up every single day and fight for the American people. I don't think there's another human being alive today that could actually do what Trump has done in terms of actually persevering through all of the hatred. I mean, the hatred is literally off the charts, and yet he still perseveres, and he was still able to accomplish everything that he's been able to accomplish. Truly, truly remarkable. The other thing that I really, really liked about tonight was the historic nature of the way Trump spoke. And so Trump went all the way back to, things about, like, for example, Thomas Jefferson sending out Lewis and Clark from the White House. And Trump made a bunch of historic references. And I just think that's really cool that Trump is sitting there in the White House, or near the White House, accepting the Republican nomination, and literally making all these references to history. And Trump fits right in there with it. It's like someday in 100 years or 200 years, there might be Americans listening to a president speak, and that president may reference George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Donald Trump. And I think Donald Trump is absolutely, a part of American history, and is a very, very, very valid and worthy heir of all of the best of American history. And so I thought that was really, really powerful of Trump to make all those historical references. And there was a bunch of them, I remember the one about Lewis and Clark because I'm from out west, and Lewis and Clark is a huge deal out here, and I'm interested in Lewis and Clark. I think it's incredible what they did. And so I thought that was really powerful. But there was a bunch of that. Trump made a bunch of references about all these historical events, and I thought that was really, really good. Trump also said a couple of things that really makes me happy, because when he says certain things, it makes me realize Trump understands. Trump really gets it, Trump knows the truth, and Trump is willing to say the truth. That's one of the things I love the most about Trump, is he is willing to say the truth. He's not afraid to say the truth. He's not afraid to speak his mind. And so some of the things that Trump said that really was like, wow, Trump gets it. Trump understands the truth, was when he called out the Democrats and the radical left for hating America and believing America is evil. And the way Trump explained it about how Democrats believe that America is not the greatest, most positive influence that's ever experienced on the earth, and that America has brought justice and freedom and liberty and independence and all these wonderful ideals and realities to the world, and that America has been this wonderful positive influence, and we've done more good in this world than any other country ever. That's not what Democrats believe. Democrats think that America's the bad guy. We're too powerful. We've taken advantage of people. We've done evil things. And it's like, look, nobody says America's perfect. We're not claiming that America's perfect, but it's also undisputed that on balance, when you take the positives and the negatives and you balance them, America has had more of a positive, good influence on the world than any other country, and we should be proud of that and recognize that. And our ideals and principles are to be celebrated and promoted. And I don't think Democrats believe that. They don't believe it because they don't believe in our Constitution and our founding ideals. They don't believe in a small government. They don't believe in private property. They don't believe in freedom of speech. They don't even believe in freedom of thought, let alone freedom of speech. But that was, I think, a huge deal. Trump also made a focus tonight on talking about all of the damaging effects from the lockdowns, the coronavirus lockdowns. I thought that was very powerful when Trump spoke about all of the horrible impacts from these lockdowns, and that Joe Biden saying he would lock down the country again in January, truly preposterous. When you consider all of the different things that come from lockdowns, and incredibly extremely damaging and harmful to the people and the country and stuff. And so it was wonderful to hear Trump talking about that we'll never lock down again because of the insane harmful effects from the lockdown. That was another moment where I was like, wow, Trump understands the truth. Trump gets it. Donald Trump also called out Bernie Sanders and the radical left for being Marxists. And it's really nice to hear the president speak the truth, because they are Marxists. Their basic beliefs come from this class idea of the rich versus the poor, and it's a Marxist belief where they think the government's job is to take a bunch of money from the rich, seize the assets from the rich, and give it to the poor. And so when Trump actually brought out the fact that the Bernie Sanders and these radical leftists are actual Marxists, I was like, thank goodness we have a president. We actually have a president. We actually have a president that understands the truth and is willing to say it. And I do think that was one of the best all-time RNC speeches. I still think I like his Mount Rushmore speech better. I think Donald Trump at Mount Rushmore, I think that's when he won the 2020 election. Tonight might be when he turned the win into a landslide, because Mount Rushmore was that incredible, but tonight was incredible. Trump did a great job tonight. A wonderful, unifying, uplifting, inspiring, wonderful message. I liked how Trump talked about how he respects the American flag and salutes the American flag. I think it's absolutely disgusting and sad that the Democrats have rejected the American flag, and the Democrats have politicized the American flag to where Democrats, they don't respect the flag. They'll stomp the flag. They'll burn the flag. They'll spit on the flag. They'll kneel for the flag. And so that's the election in 2020 is like, are we still going to be America? Are we still going to respect America and our founding ideals and our Constitution and our principles and freedom of speech and the Second Amendment and private property rights and independence and the American flag and everything it stands for? Or are we going to vote Democrat and totally turn our backs on everything that America stands for? And so, the last point I'll make, and then I'll finish with this Hatch Act thing. But Donald Trump was so spot on when he said, as Americans, we build things up. We build wonderful things. We don't tear down our history. And I just thought that's so true. If you're a patriotic American, we build good things. We build great things. We build wonderful things. We don't go around tearing down other people's stuff and tearing down previous generation and future generations' artwork and history and everything else. I thought that was a very powerful point when Donald Trump talked about we'll build stuff up. We don't tear it down. Finally, real quick in closing on the Hatch Act, Democrats, I guess, claim that this is a violation of the Hatch Act because Donald Trump is doing political activity on federal property or government property. It's so preposterous. It's like, give me a break, Democrats. You guys are really going to act like all these politicians when they're politicians and the president or the Speaker of the House, whoever it might be, a senator, when they're in their official capacity, they're not being political. If you're a senator or the Speaker of the House or the president and you're on your federal property, you're supposed to be an elected official and not political. It totally ignores the reality, which is these are politicians. Everything they do is political. The American people understand that. The American people don't view Trump at the White House as this completely different person than Trump on the campaign trail. He's the president. He's supposed to be the same person whether he's at the White House or on the campaign trail. It's a preposterous distinction. It doesn't exist in reality. Democrats, everything they do is political. They're 100% political. They never say the truth or something that's not explicitly politicized. So nobody cares. It's like this saved this, like having Trump give the speech here at the White House actually saved the taxpayer money. So, and this is classy. This is a wonderful, wonderful moment tonight. For the country to have such a wonderful president like Trump give an RNC nomination acceptance speech at the White House like this. Wonderful, wonderful moment, especially during coronavirus. That's the other thing that I loved about this thing. That's the other thing I loved about this, guys. He had a big crowd here. It's a beautiful setting. Nobody was wearing masks. This was a wonderful showing tonight to show the American people, hey, it's okay to have a big gathering and nobody wears masks and we're going to celebrate America, and doing it at a beautiful location at the White House. It was just so wonderful to see Trump just give that speech tonight. Wonderful speech. So those are my thoughts, guys. What do you guys think? Those are my thoughts.